Good afternoon, good evening, and how are you doing, Danny?
Doing good, buddy.
I'm
Happy.
actually we have 4 people watching right now.
I'm just gonna say Happy Blue Jays Day, and we
No
got.
kidding. Like, I mean, we couldn't have scheduled this on a worse day, but needless to say, for the 4 that are watching, thanks. We really appreciate this. We weren't
We
sure
do.
if we had any tonight, so we're up to 7. Holy smokes, that's fantastic.
We were playing the odds. The Jays would have swept by now.
Well, this is it, right? This is it, and we were talking before we went live. What do we think their chances are? I mean, listen, I'm pulling for them. I'm hoping for the best, but I don't know. They've come across a really hot team, and we got our work cut out for it, I'll tell you that.
I'm a Leaf fan, so I've got paper bag optimism all the time. So
Yeah, that explains a lot. I was going to ask you what you've been up to, but I had paid witness to something that you came across today that I'm sure you want to talk about. You can't wait to talk about. And we're going to ask Matt, our special guest, too, when he comes on, if he's come across anything like that. But whereabouts were you when you caught that?
I was probably about I would say about maybe 5 kilometers from the Spanish Marina where we held our event. So we were right in eye shot of that, and that's a rarity for me. I've come across a lot, and that's particular area. Actually, I've come across a lot of deer and moose, mostly bears swimming in that area. So to come across a bobcat, that was extremely rare for me. I've only seen 2 in my lifetime. That was the first one I've ever seen in the water. So they can swim pretty good.
No kidding. Well, we'll see. As I mentioned, I think you're going to get a lot of views with that video, simply because it's not something you see every day. And again, we're going to get the luxury of talking to Matt to find out what strange things he's seen in the water. But how do you know Matt, Dan? How did we come to having our special guest Matt join us tonight?
I know Matt through friends of friends, kind of like the same way he kind of knows that Code knows me, and we've gotten into our circles of social media. But Matt is a relative of a good friend of ours, Kevin. So they are cousins. So he's from this part of the world, and yeah, so we just kind of, Nick knows him, and somebody else knows him, and he knows somebody I know, and we bumped in at the sportsman shows as he does his work with Berkeley and Pure Fishing and stuff like that. And so, I've been following his career, like he's been following my career, I guess, in the fishing world for the last few years, and I'll let him talk about his stuff. But yeah, I know he's got a phenomenal reputation. Let's put it that way. So that's why I'm glad to have him on, especially with the Nipissing bass and all the bass fishing around North Bay area.
100%. Well, without further ado, let's bring in Matt, our special guest. Matt, a pleasure to have you tonight. Thanks so much for joining us and taking the time, because I know it's busy times for you.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute pleasure, guys. I appreciate everything you're doing for the fishing community in Ontario. And yeah, no, it's my honor to be here with you guys and just share some stories and engage in some fun conversation for the viewers. So it should be a fun night.
Cool stuff. I have to ask, with Dan's video that he posted today, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen swimming in the water?
Yeah, no bobcat, but I've seen black bears. Those are pretty cool to see. Lake Temagami, just north of me, I'm in North Bay. Yeah, I've seen some black bears out there. Kind of caught me off guard. We were just going. I was like, is that a log? And then get closer and you see a big old black bear head. So that was pretty neat. This spring I saw another black bear up on Lake Nipigon. So the north is where it's at for kind of wildlife. Moose and deer aren't uncommon. But kind of the black bear was a bit more of a rare one for me. And then, just some water snakes. So I lots of a little bit clear of those. So
I know this might sound far-fetched, but I would much rather come across a bobcat than a snake. I can't stand those sort of things.
Well, I grew up on cabin cruisers, and I know Scottie seen our pictures of our cabin cruisers. And one thing about water snakes is they love to sunbathe. So we've had a situation one time where we had one on Denise's boat, and we thought Kyle had killed it and put it there as a prank. But meanwhile, this thing was fully alive. So when she went to get rid of it, this thing decided to move and freaked her right out. So yeah, they're not shy to get on boats either. So I'm not a fan of snakes, so that's a little unnerving for me as well.
Cool stuff. Matt, as we always do, we always want to know where it all started for you. What got you into fishing? Who was it? And what was that trigger that created the passion that you now pursue?
Yeah, so it was early beginnings. I'm born and raised in Sault Ste. Marie, and my grandparents had a camp. It wasn't a cottage. They had a camp on the Gully River up there. So there's pictures and stories of all my cousins playing, and I'm literally tied to a tree by my life jacket, just sitting there catching perch off the dock on the breakwall. So yeah, 3 years old, and my nono, he's got a picture. I still have it today of a 51-inch northern pike that they caught up there, and yeah, I've always just chased big fish and kind of wanted to be like Nono, and kind of just grew into it from there. Kind of played ball growing up, and then got out of that. And a friend of mine in the Sioux, he was a river rat, so dragged me through every single tributary throughout the Sioux area, and we'd go steelheading, we'd go fly fishing, just do anything we can, and then just kind of canoe around and shore fish for largemouth and smallmouth. So yeah, it was a ton of fun just in the Sioux area doing that. And then, yeah, kind of went to school, just kept recreationally fishing. And then once I graduated and moved to Sudbury, I found a BASS affiliated club. And yeah, kind of saw that, joined it. And actually, a friend of mine prior to me joining that series, he got me into my first tournament on Temagami. And I think he actually just did really well in your series, Jeff Lutecki, on your online thing. So yeah, he introduced me to it, total fish head. And yeah, we did Bassin for Kids up on Temagami. Was not prepared. I had quick dry pants in September, thinking it'd be good. I was blue teeth, like just numb, frozen, total greenhorn, had no clue what I'm doing. Like, it was hilarious.
That's wow, what a story. Holy smokes. I'll have to say, Danny, that's probably one of the best answers we've had on the show.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I missed part of it. I'm dealing with my terrible network here. So I get half broken laughing and everything else. So I'm just going to be nodding and smiling and moving along with this one.
That's hilarious. So, Matt, at what point did you think, or perhaps maybe something was presented to you? You mentioned the tournament that you had in Temagami, that you were going to become a tournament angler and pursue that side of the sport.
Yeah, so I don't know if I got just a struck of luck or someone was just telling me like, you got to do this. But like I said, I joined the Bassmaster Club in Sudbury. So it was the Nickel City Bassmasters at the time. It's now the Nickel City Bass. They left Bassmasters, went OFAH. But Jeff and I, we fished our first event on Ramsey Lake. I was fishing out a 14-foot of aluminum with a cooler and a 20 horse. Pre-fishing, just learned Ramsey Lake. Every day after work, I'd go. So I gave Jeff a call. I was like, hey, come on, I'm on fish. We're going to fish this tournament. We go out and win it. First tournament ever against the Sudbury guys. He and I just, out of a dinner, go out and win this thing. 21-foot bass boats are blazing past us, and just, it was wild. I still remember calling a friend, being like, we won it. He worked at Ramaco's, and he just called my bluff. He was like, there's no chance. Like, you're totally pulling my leg. So that lit the fire there. And then the rest of their events were pairing events.
Yep.
So I reached out and I said, hey guys, like, I need a partner for Onaping. So got lucky enough. Mike Gifford, a legend in Sudbury area, hopped in with him and go and win my second event. So my first two bass fishing events, I win. Like, unheard of, right? So right there, like the first event, I was like, I can do this. Like, these guys are sticks. I just beat them. Like, there's nothing to this, right? Like, young, naive confidence just exuding from me. And then, go in the next one and in contention for Angler of the Year that year. But I was at my aunt's wedding in the Sioux, and my mom said I had too much to drink, so I couldn't do the overnight drive to fish my classics. So, I left the Angler of the Year on the table that year. But, it was that first year, those first two events, like, got the blood pumping, showed success, and I've just, I've had the taste for it ever since. So, nothing beats winning.
No kidding. Dan, this sounds eerily familiar to your story.
Not even close. I haven't had much success with that. No. I must be fishing harder tournaments. Maybe that's where we're going to leave it at that. No offense to Nickel City. I'm just teasing.
No, it's all good, man.
So before we go on to tournament talk, what are some of the I would say great memories you've had fishing? Some faraway places, destination fishing trips, this, that, and everything else. What's some of the coolest things you've done?
Yeah, like it's crazy. 2025 was a year, like this year. My wife and I were like, okay, let's go on a trip together. So we went to Mexico. I totally vegged out for 2 days, and my wife got bored by day 3. Was like, we got to go do something. So she looked at a shelling trip, and then the next page was a fishing trip. And she's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I can't answer this. Like, So then she was like, okay, we'll go on a deep sea trip. So she books it. And easy there, Steve. So she books the trip for us, and we go out. So we're chartering out, and we get to the spot. We're catching bait, and then catch a big bonito. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, woke me up, ready to go. And then we just start going around, and then hook up. They hand it off to the other guests in the boat. They end up hooking up into a big sailfish. So I was like, okay, cool, fish are here. And then next one goes off as this guy's got a fish on, and I dove at that rod so quick. And honestly, like, I let the other guy get his fish to the boat, and I just fought this fish out super far. Bring it in, 8-foot sailfish.
Wow.
Incredible. Like, I was hooting and hollering like a 2-year-old. Like, my life was complete in that moment. It was so cool. Yeah, something I'll never forget. Just the pull on them, and then just getting to actually fight the fish instead of just kind of getting it to the boat and keeping it away while the other guy's fighting his was kind of a cool me moment. So yeah, that was pretty incredible. Just going away to relax and then sneak it out on a deep sea fishing trip. So that one was awesome. And then this spring, friends of ours, we had a 4-day trip on Lake Nipigon planned. So we went and slept in a creek arm on the riverbank, and it was the 4 best days of multi-species fishing of my life.
Wow.
We caught 20 brook trout in 1 day bass fishing for them. We had, I think, 4 double headers. We had back-to-back 24-inch brook trout. Like, that's an insane day. Our smallest one was 18 inches. Like, it was crazy. And that was 1 day we targeted brook trout. We caught throughout, we put 198 fish in the boat. We shook off and passed on a bunch of other fish. Biggest fish was a 45-inch northern for my buddy Matt. I ended up getting a 40 and a quarter northern. And then I think we had over a dozen over 38 inches. And then the lake trout fishing was unreal too. Like, I got a 38 and a half inch lake trout. Like, it was an incredible year.
Well, listen, I hope you're not planning to go back there next year, because it sounds like you're going to be rubbing shoulders with a whole whack of people that are listening to this tonight.
Hey, it's all good. That is a giant lake. You can put 15 Simcoes in there, so I probably won't see you.
There you go. Perfect.
Sounds like you're finally Tyler up there, so that's where we're getting your early spots from. Your old connections.
No, I didn't go through that route. I went to my old Thunder Bay stomping ground friends. So
yeah, no, it's quite the fish trip there. It's on my bucket list to get up there. I haven't made it up there yet, but it's pretty phenomenal what you can do up there. But so I mean, it's funny to hear you talk about your fishing stories about your wife in Mexico, and you went shelling. You didn't choose shelling or fishing. Well, I'm obviously buddies with Kevin. So after 3 days on the ocean fishing the Gulf with him, we ended up on the beach shelling with him for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, a lot of beer were involved. That's I know that much.
You wanted to see your girlish figure. That's all.
Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah. He lives and swears, but he loves doing it. He does a good living with it. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
no, the beach is
great.
Yeah.
That being said,
everything he's done, so it's pretty amazing.
So that's when we were at ICAST last year. So Nick and we did the shelling, and we said, well, we're going to bring some stuff home for our kids and whatnot. So we brought this back. We get there, we drive to Orlando with this bucket of shells, and we got to disinfect them. By day 2, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it stinks in here. What's going on here? Turns out one of these shells had a hermit crab in it. We didn't know about it. So it didn't smell very good in the apartment for a little bit. Beware when you go shelling. Check for anything live in the shells.
There we go.
One thing, I was trolling your Facebook page, and I really love, as dedicated as you are to the sport, and obviously we're going to talk about the many sponsors that you have that I'm sure you want to give a shout out. You do involve the family, and do you have 2 kids or 3?
Yeah, I've got 2 boys, 5 and 7.
So you put a video together, which I'm not sure if this was the Nipigon trip or where it was, but I just love seeing the kids involved, and being someone like yourself that had somebody that grabbed you by the arm and took you to all these wonderful places to catch great fish and experience Canadian fishing at its finest. How cool is it to now do the same for the next generation?
Yeah, it's special. I've gone to so many seminars, and it really hits home now what Big Jim always said: take a kid fishing. Do it. Like, it took me having my own or knowing somebody with a kid to do it, but if you have the opportunity and the parents are open to it, just bring a kid out. I don't try and go and catch the biggest fish. Like, everything you see here, I'm sitting on a beaver house and we're casting for sunfish. It's all about numbers and engagement, and then just making it fun. So that's the biggest fish my youngest has ever caught. Like, it was probably a 2.5 pound largemouth, and cast a catch all on his own. He was extremely ecstatic about it. And we just have a great time. So, like you saw in the first picture, we absolutely load the live well up with them. So when they're not engaged on fishing, they're in there just playing with the fish, checking them out, looking at the anatomy. They're seeing it, and we're outdoors. See a turtle swim by, we'll chase after it, watch them swim. So honestly, it's becoming more important for me to invest in my kids and time on the water with them, where I'm actually that's taking a higher priority over all my tournament fishing and my own personal success now. And it's just, I want to instill it in them. The values fishing brings, everything it instills on the water. Like, if I'm having a bad day or a bad week, my wife just looks at me. She's like, "We got to get you on the water, don't we?" I'm like, "Yeah, need it." So, yeah, it's just a special place for me to be on the water, and just trying to share it with my kids, and hopefully they get the love and passion with it. And fortunately for my wife, I think they're both catching it, so they're probably going to have the fish sickness, and we'll be out there kind of like Gary, who's on the line here with his son. They're always out there together, kind of a band of brothers. So
That's so awesome.
yeah, no, it's special. So yeah, we brought them up since well, actually, my youngest Ollie, he what was he? Would have been a month and a half old, and we did a fishing trip on Lake St. Joe's, or not St. Joe's Island, Manitoulin Island. We had him on the boat, and he was fresh. So yeah, it's cool. So, and then that's the OBN qualifier we had this year. They come out and support. My wife gets little team jerseys and stuff made. So yeah, no, it's good times.
Well, I might not be Big Jim, but an old guy can give you some advice. You hang on to that girl, my friend. You hang on to her. She's something special.
Oh yeah, no, for sure she is. So yeah, I'm lucky. So
cool stuff. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I got to attest to that. I'm very lucky as well. I mean, mine's my tournament partner, so we know fishing is an expensive sport. So if they're not supporting you, then we're in trouble with that. But no, it's awesome to get your kids involved. I mean, like I remember my parents had me on the boat. I was born in June. I was on the boat by August, and I've never gotten off a boat since then. So it can be an addictive, and it's not easy, but it's not hard at the same point. You just need someone to help you in the right direction. So you seem to be doing that. So that's fantastic. And, it spills into not just your kids, but to their friends and whatnot. And then next thing your buddies want to go out and stuff like that. Yeah. So a lot of good doing that.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Like, friends of ours, their son asked if he could go fishing for his birthday if I came. So I got invited to a 5-year-old's birthday to go fishing with them. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Speaking of the next gen, Steve has a great question. At what age do you recommend we get kids into fishing?
Right away.
Yeah, just judge your day. Don't push them. It's not your day on the water. Just remember that going. That's the biggest thing. Luckily, where I go, I'm on Trout Lake in North Bay. We have a park there. So now my kids are old enough, I can open the door, go play in the park. I'll launch the boat, and then I'll come back and gather them from the park. So that's part of the fun. Then we'll go out, we'll do the boat ride and fish. But when we first started, like, I'd go on nosebouncing. It would be a 2-minute boat ride. I wouldn't have to go on pad. And then I'd make sure there was fish there before we'd take them. I didn't want to take them to get skunked, or because then they'd just be like, why did we go? So that's kind of my encouragement. Try and find small panfish. They don't have to be big. Just make sure that there's something pulling on the line, and then just gauge their interest at the moment. If they're kind of tapped out, or they're just showing signs of boredom, kind of want to go, take them for a boat ride, put some wind in their hair, bring them back, re-engage them, or do funny casts. It's just kind of keeping them on the boat, out in the water, kind of showing them those things. So, and then in the backyard, I put a screw lock and a lure on, and we cast them into the trees. It doesn't have to be out on the water, right? So we have casting contests in the backyard. It's absolutely hilarious. So neighbors look at me funny, and I love it. So I don't think it's too young, but your safety and your comfort level with them in the boat is another big thing. Always have their life jackets. Like in that video, mine was always on. Just show them the way to do it the right way. Actions speak pretty darn loud. So, it's just get them out there and then just listen to their cues. Don't push it.
Steve's asking, Cortina's bar still in New Brunswick. Good times.
North Bay, Cortina.
Oh, sorry, North Bay. I apologize.
Yeah.
Cortina and Sudbury. It's not North Bay that I know. I'm gonna Google it though.
This is one in Espanola. I remember that one.
Yeah, Cortina's in Sudbury.
Well, I will say, Big Jim, with that answer that you just gave and some great advice for any parent that's looking to get their kids into fishing. I know that boy is sitting in a chair right now smiling at your response because you couldn't have said it better. And truly, that is the best advice anybody can give, is put your rods away when the kids are ready to play, because it's definitely their time. Now, speaking of your time, of course, the tournament trail comes fast and furious, and it looked like you were involved with a good number of tournaments this past year. Tell us a little bit about the Nipissing Bass Series.
Yeah, it's a special series. The Nosbonsing Anglers and Hunters, they're the group that backs this series. They run the Nosbonsing Pike event every spring, which it's a huge reach across the province. So it's the same guys and membership that run the event. But no, they're awesome. So first and foremost, respect to all of them. Mark Rich is kind of the face and the name at the front of the series, but all the guys that back it, they're absolutely phenomenal. So credit where it's due. I think they're going on their 7th year this year coming up. It's Nipissing. So every event's on Lake Nipissing. Up till now, they had a 4 qualifier series with a 2-day classic. I think over $30,000+ in payouts in their classic. I think this year's winners were like 15 to 17 grand for first place plus prizes. They do an awesome job, and it's just a good group of people. There's none of the BS. Like, you were on my spot. You get that every once in a while. It's tournament fishing, but there's not a lot of the politics. People aren't really saying anything poor about the series or trying to dump fire on anybody. So it's really good in that sense. It's just good camaraderie, fun conversations, good banter at the ramp. But it's a really good group of anglers within the area. So our reach, it's pretty much Sault Ste. Marie down to the Haliburton area. That's kind of the reach for the tournament series. And Nipissing's been showing out for a lot of years. I think I've done it 3 or 4 of those years now. Last year I took the year off. I just had some family stuff and some home projects to do. And then this year was my first year with my new partner, Steve-O. And it was a growing year for us. 2 very different skilled anglers and different approaches to the water. So we had a bit of a learning year. I didn't have the success we've had in the past. In 2022, I was lucky enough to get 2 wins with my partner, Brad Brown. Him and his dad just grabbed 3rd place in the walleye tournament you guys had. And so angler or team of the year with Brad, and then 2 wins that year. So that one was pretty special. We had a really good largemouth program going. And I think we took angler that year by a pretty big landslide in weight. So that was a year that was really special to me, and it'll stand out for a long time. And something I'm pretty proud of. But the fishery is amazing. And that's a big thing for me, is to expose North Bay to the fishing audience, to the community. The North Bay Bassmasters, and president of that club, we host the qualifier on it. So it's always been a passion of mine to bring awareness and just bring a draw to the lake. I got the lake map right here beside me. It's a huge system. The walleye population for non-bass anglers is absolutely thriving. The MNRF and the Zone 11 and the Nipissing Council, they've done amazing work protecting that year class that's coming through. So if you like numbers, come on up this winter. You're going to catch a ton. If you're a meat hunter, you're only keeping 2, but I mean, you're staying busy all day. And muskie fishing, it's world class. But yeah, Nip Bass Series, like, great guys, big bags. If you don't have 20 pounds, you feel like you're not going to win a tournament. So yeah, it's really good in that sense. Spring and fall, smallie dominated, and then have a couple largemouth kickers, but kind of those July, August, you'll see those big largemouth show up.
Well, George Morgan, who frequently watches a lot of what we do, will really appreciate you saying that and hearing that. He tries to actually steer everybody away from Nipissing. He's like, yeah, go down to the cordless, catch all the bass and walleye you want. Stay away from Nipissing. The bite's terrible up here. But yeah, there has been some fantastic work. And I know when it comes to the walleye, changing the slot limit on Nipissing really helped when it came to time on the water and the number of fish that folks would have to go through to get a catch limit. So, it's great to see that we're willing to sort of move that line when it needs to be moved. And in this case, it is paid off for not only recreational anglers and tournament anglers, but the First Nations folks as well.
Yeah, definitely. I sit on both Zone 11 and Nip Bass councils. It's not a position I take lightly. It's actually an honor to be a part of it. So just to hear their stories, I came onto it after they went through the changes. But just to hear what they did to go through that and how important that 1 year class was. Honestly, in my opinion, it's just been amazing to watch it. When I moved here, it was just feast. Just go and catch your 4, take them home. It wasn't hard. Right. They put that limit in. They protected that 15 to 17 inch range. Now they're in that 18 to 23 inch range right now. So we got healthy fish. They're reproducing. They got them to that reproductive stage. Unfortunately, the biomass in the lake, the perch couldn't thrive at the same time. They got relocated, and that walleye class was foraging on the same food. But the perch population came back last year and showed up in numbers, or maybe I just couldn't find them. Walleye might have pushed them out, but yeah, huge success. So Nipissing's live and well. So any of the viewers tonight, or anybody that catches this later, come on up. Community's more than happy to have you. I work a lot with the tourism boards here, and they absolutely love it. So the main thing is butts and beds. So come on up, stay at the local community partners or even the ice bungalows, and everybody's happy to help you. We're a welcoming community.
Amen. And Nipissing, it's great to hear that the perch population came back like it did, because that is a big concern down here in the Lake Erie area, that we're hoping that the perch population rebounds, because the walleye population has never been what it is right now. It's absolutely redonkulous how many walleye are running around in Lake Erie, but unfortunately it's at the plate of the perch. So hopefully we have a Lake Nipissing story to tell in the coming years. Dan, you were going to say something.
Well, the other thing comes to mind from Lake Nipissing that I've always heard of and I've always wanted to experience, but is the white bass and crappie fishing out there as well, especially in that Sturgeon area, Sturgeon Falls area. You hear a lot of guys talking about that, especially in the springtime, right? So,
yeah, white bass, 100%. I can't confirm crappie being in there. Don't see them in the main.
Towards the Cache area, I think it's more on that.
But the white bass is super fun. Even Calendar Bay early season, small jerk baits, like you're catching 17, 18 inch like silver white bass, like they're giants. So you'll hook into them and they pull like crazy. And yeah, it's a cool little bait. Allegedly there was a Canadian record caught out of there, out of the Sturgeon River for the silver bass too. So yeah, it's kind of a cool little bycatch type system. But yeah, even in the fall too, all the Cisco run up the river too, and It's literally just walls of them on your screen. So yeah, it's super healthy fishery. Big Cisco, there's sturgeon in the lake. There's unicorn whitefish roaming around out there. Yeah, it's a really cool system. I actually got a 613 on my wall.
Wow.
Held up for a picture and ripped its gill plate and couldn't do it the justice of a knife, so I mounted it. So
nice. We actually have. I'm glad Steve mentioned this because Richard Dunlop was from North Bay as well, and he'd always talk about the pier fishing, the government pier, and how great it was. Are we back? Are we getting close to getting back to that up there? In your opinion, Matt?
Oh, guys are always out there. They're always catching. Yeah, like I was even out there on the weekend with my kids out at the park, and the pier was full. So yeah, we were out there for probably 2 hours, and I saw at least a dozen people out at the pier the whole time. And yeah, it's extremely popular area. So yeah, it's still thriving. Sometimes they're just outside of a cast reach, but Steve, my tournament partner, he'll kind of sit there and live scope them and make the people feel bad on shore and tell them not to. But
the dreaded live scope, the dreaded live scope. So getting back to the tournament, one thing that we talked about before we went live, fortunately, there was some news, unfortunate news shared about the Kiwanis Walleye tournament down the Bay of Quinte. It's unfortunately going to have to cancel this year. And Dan and I can attest that, there has been sort of a downward swing when it comes to numbers competing in tournaments, and for a number of reasons, and we can get into that if we desire. But with the Nipissing Bass Series, are you seeing a pretty steady amount of contestants?
Yeah, we were. It was really good numbers. 22, we had a full field every tournament of 35 teams. So that's 70 competitors committing to the full series. There was a bit of a turn down the following years. I think those teams that went all in 5 years back to back, they had a little bit of burnout. So they kind of pulled themselves back, and fishing a full series and being competitive is a lot of work. Yeah. It's not just showing up to those dates you showed. It's the days, weeks leading ahead. It's staying on fish, following your patterns, time, money, energy. Nothing's getting cheaper in our economy right now. So it's kind of tough. Last year, we still had 20-ish teams every event, like high 20s. So they were doing good. But they adjusted this year. Nip Bass saw, they listened, and they've reduced down to 3 qualifying tournaments and their classic. So instead of the normal 4 qualifiers, they went down to 3, and it's been very well received. They just posted the other day that the membership's extremely happy about it. So yeah, they're adjusting to their membership, which I think is good. Like you said, there's tons of tournaments going on. Yeah, we've got Huron Bass to the west of me. We got the club that I'm a part of, North Bay Bassmasters, kind of the grassroots club in town. We got Northern Bass Circuit up north. So we got a slew of them, plus top 50, and then NWTs. Like, the North is strong with tournaments, and I don't think people realize like how much opportunity there is up here. Like, I left out Nickel City Bass, like they got me started. So we've got a huge reach, and yeah, it's just, like I said, I think it's just angler fatigue to a point. Staying competitive is hard. And it's not cheap when you're running a bass boat. You're $150, $200 bill for a full tank just to fill up on a pre-fish day. So, yeah, I think just all those things involved. Yeah, just kind of things are happening. So,
100%. Dan, you can speak a little bit to the grind that Matt is describing.
You kind of hit the nail on the head, especially in Canada. Like from a professional angler standpoint, it doesn't pay the bills. I mean, you're most, like in the U.S., guys that can be consistently in the top 30 in some of these larger tournaments can actually make a living doing that. Can actually take time off work to spend the whole summer doing that. So everybody doing here, whether it's a walleye event or it's a bass event, they've got to be at work on Monday morning. So they've got to take that time off work and everything else. So it becomes a financial burden and stuff like that, which is unfortunate because I think we have some phenomenal anglers that are being financially held back, and tournaments are suffering for that. And cost of living is for everybody. It's a global problem now, but yeah, we all see it, feel it. So my hat's off to everybody who's dumb like us, that spend the money and show up at a tournament and go for it. You know what I mean? With that meme, I spent $50,000 and I walked away with a $200 check or something like that. So
yeah, the old Tuesday nighter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So true. I do have to speak to the club tournaments and how important they are for young anglers to get involved in the competitive side of fishing. To you, Matt, would you agree? And is it club tournaments sort of that entry level, that springboard to where you are now?
It's the only reason I'm here. If Nickel City didn't start, I don't think I'd have what I have today in this industry. It's instrumental. And when Nickel City, and I was there and part of the executive for a few years, and there was some discussions, and I was part of it when they went with OFAH and kind of split off to the team series, which they are now. And they had very good reasons, and I definitely respect everything they did. And then I moved to North Bay for work, and I was super happy to come here. I didn't know the area, never seen any of these lakes. So it was just an opportunity to kind of get in the boat and just kind of get acquainted. I wasn't out there to try and steal spots or anything like that. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm new. I don't know anybody. So it gives people like that, even if they're already starting to fish, an opportunity to come into the community, join a club, and you're putting a boat for 7-8 hours a day with someone. You're going to be friends or you're swimming.
Yeah.
So true. It helps in that sense for kind of newcomers to a community, but for that grassroots, just I'm kind of interested. Should I do it? It's fantastic. This year, I've got an example for you. We've got a couple military guys there came to North Bay. We've got some exposure, having hosted 3 qualifier tournaments. So the community knows us. We're kind of a name right there with Knit Bass Series. And they came out to our Bassmaster Classic watch and party and tackle swap. And they're like, man, this is cool. Let's just do it. So they end up joining. They both show up to tournaments with 1 rod each. It's great. One tournament, guys like, never caught a largemouth. I'm like, all right, scrap the plan. Let's go catch some largemouth. So catch him a largemouth on a Senko. He sees me catch one on a frog. He starts drilling. He's like, man, I got to do that too. So put him on a frog bite, caught him a largemouth on a frog. So it's just introducing them to those things. Club tournaments, they can be as competitive or as fun as you want. I've had a tournament where I didn't really know how to tie knots. So I sat down and showed him a uni to uni, and then I showed him how to do a snell, and he fished a wacky rig the rest of the night, and I didn't have to tie a knot again. And yeah, he's done that ever since. But it gives those opportunities for us to teach and kind of show people, give that exposure. You share a boat with different people. People are always like, oh, I'm so excited to fish with you, Matt. I'm like, man, I'm excited to fish with you. Like, let's go have some fun. And then they'll show me stuff. I'll show them stuff. It's really neat. And it's more of that fun tournament.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go and burn gas all week. You're not stressing about it. You're not like, I got to get a check to come home and have the family happy. It's like, no, I'm just going out with the boys. It's like softball league night. So I love that. It's just that camaraderie, the fun kind of aspect to it. And then we're sharing, and it's just a good group of people. And yeah, it's just bringing that next generation in too. It's that stepping stone. 16, 18-year-olds, we're getting them into the club now, kind of exposing them, showing it to them. And yeah, like I'm watching guys like get full tournament in. Like one guy, I think he graduated high school, went into trades, bought a boat, all in.
Wow.
Because of the club. So it's good. I kind of apologize to his mom. I'm like, I'm sorry we did this to him, but he's good. He's got the potential. He's got the drive. So it's fun in all those ways. So yeah, I absolutely love the grassroots clubs. And like I said, if Sudbury didn't have it, I wouldn't be here.
That's awesome.
There's not a chance. I'd still be running a bank or in a canoe or just who knows.
Well, I will say this, we know Mayor Lisa very, very well, and she's definitely Dan's yin to their yang. But let's talk about your partner. And, it's important that you're both on the same page, that you get along and you could spend that much time on the water without having to throw one or the other overboard. But speak about your partner, because you guys have had some great success together.
Yeah, so Steve-O and I, like I said, this was his and I first year. We had a fun season. We're always one place out of a check, it felt like. We just couldn't capitalize. So Steve and I were always having fun. Like, this when he leans into me there. Like, it's just at the end of the day and this season, like, we just had a fun time. And that's kind of, we went out with our plan this year is like, let's learn how to fish with one another. But at the end of the day, let's just have fun. So it's just kind of figuring out each other's strengths. I'm a deeper fisherman. He's an ultra shallow water. So this year we were trying to kind of figure that out. But it's just kind of time together, figuring each other out and kind of getting that consistency in place. That's probably the biggest thing. And you just got to be patient with a new partnership and stuff too. It's just like anything. You just got to learn each other, kind of adapt to that. When we had that team of the year season with Brad, we fished very similar. It was 3 years together. We kind of got in the boat. I knew what he was doing. He knew what I was going to do. Complement each other's techniques. Somebody's frogging, go behind, flip the patches behind them. Somebody's running a spinner bait, you can throw a wacky rig or kind of something like that for kind of that smallmouth, largemouth pattern, kind of just complement each other's techniques. And then just work together, talk with each other through things, try not to confront in the boat. Because if you're at each other uneasy or somebody's feeling pressure from the other, tensions run high. It's not a fun day and you're not going to perform like you should. So yeah, just keep it positive, have fun. End of the day, you're out fishing. Amen. Yeah, there's money on the line, but you got to kind of remind yourself that sometimes, like, you can burn out quick in this industry if you're just always chasing a win.
Dan, you would feel the same?
God, yes. I mean, I was kind of thinking as he's talking, I'm going off on the simplest here. Like, we got hooked on tournament fishing, not just fishing. We decided to go one step further, the tournament side of things. And I don't know if Matt can attest to this, or even Scottie for you for that matter. But every time you're in a boat with somebody and they're out fishing you, it's not like, why are the fish not biting my line? It's like, what did he figure out that I haven't figured out yet? Because we've kind of figured out that it's about 80%, 85% skill, learnable skill, and about 50% luck. And it's not the other way around. So it's not just as a matter of just fan casting and stuff like that. So you're always trying to figure out, what did he figure out? What did I figure out? Tonight was a good example. I went out, you see the bite was negative. Instead of just grinding to your techniques, you got to force yourself to do something else and push yourself. And it's hard when you're by yourself, when you have somebody else with you that's immediately complimenting. Like you said, Steve's a shallow guy, you're a deep guy, so you can immediately recognize that transition, those changes, and the bite patterns and stuff like that a lot easier. And trusting your partner is a big thing like that. When you're married to your partner, you tend to have a lot more arguments about the most ridiculous things. But
she's listening.
I know she's listening, yeah, and I can probably hear from the other room yelling at me saying that right now. But no, just kidding.
Get the net.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we haven't had too many. We've had a lot of get the nets and it's gone before it happens. I never lost it there.
There she is.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not sure if you guys can attest to that. When you get into your partner, your pre-fishing compared to your tournament days, they can be so drastically different. And I know for myself, it's a mindset. Like you said, you got to keep. I lose train of thought real quickly that, hey, this is just fishing. At the end of the day, I know what I'm doing. I've done really well up to this point. And all of a sudden, you start looking at the clock. You start thinking about this, thinking about this here. And everything gets compressed. You have, okay, well, I got an hour on this spot. I got 20 minutes on this spot. I went up for 4 hours tonight, and I did better than I did during my own tournament, and I had 8 hours to do that. And it's just, it was so relaxed, so different mind thing. I don't know how to break those two sometimes, and I'm not sure if you have those kind of problems as well.
Yeah, it's not easy. I think just with me getting older, fishing probably a couple hundred tournaments now. I don't know. Am I getting wiser or complacent? I don't know what it is. But that was kind of my outlook this year is just, I don't have time to pre-fish. You need to pre-fish to be extremely competitive. So I kind of pivoted to, all right, yeah, we're going to go have some fun. We're going to fish water. We're going to listen to the fish. We're going to listen to the conditions, and we're going to go and try and catch them. So that was kind of the biggest thing kind of going into this year for me. So I think I had a pivot in my mindset coming into it, Danny. If this was back in 22, we're going for blood every single tournament. If we don't win, like second's not good. So I've lived both mindsets. Both are good. You need that competitive edge. You need to be out to kill to be successful. Ask any successful athlete. And it's just your dedication and then your mindset. Like Gerald Swinder, positive mental attitude, keep it. As soon as negative thought comes in, get rid of it on the water. You got to stay positive out there. Like it's you, your mind, and fish. So yeah, it's tough. But it's kind of what you make it. So yeah, if you're out there and you want to win everything, you got to have a tough mind.
Amen.
I personally feel that the better I've gotten, the more walls I tend to hit.
Yep.
And I have to stop and look back and say, you know what, I'm a way better angler than I was last year alone. I was way better than the angler was 2 years ago. But the success came kind of early. And I got to remember that everybody else around me is doing exactly what I'm doing. They're getting better. Yeah. And some people make that leap further than you are. I find everything's kind of a plateau. You climb, you plateau, you climb, you plateau. And how fast that happens depends on your stubbornness. And I can be pretty stubborn at times. And I'm sure a lot of guys are the same way. We get set in our ways, works with best for us and technology and all that kind of stuff, right? And it could be you really play with your head. So when you can grab your wife and your kids and you can just go beat up on a bunch of panfish, you don't care how big they are, you just care about numbers. Awesome. I enjoy that. That's what I love about like perch fishing. I just absolutely love that just for that reason alone.
Yeah, maybe that's what changed me these last few years. Like kids are the best thing that happened to me. So maybe that was the pivot. Who knows? But it's fun. But like you've grown. You've exposed yourself to new techniques, new products, new items, new this, new that. You probably started, you had 5 rods. Now you've got 30. So you're overwhelmed with decisions. You're overwhelmed with content you've read, watched. You're overloaded.
Yeah.
And that is something I had to learn how to process out and kind of keep it simple. Like I had every color under the sun. Now it's a green pumpkin with a different color hue and a black and blue pretty much. And then I'm kind of fishing 2-tone kind of swim baits or kind of minnow baits now. So you can be as complicated and complex as you want to be. And then you just got to remember, just keep it simple. They'll still bite.
Amen.
So it's a wild world. Like, I mean, I've analysis paralysis myself into a world of trouble on the water. And then when it was done, I was like, oh, wow, I got 3 fish.
That's awesome. Well, I have to say, Scott, you have probably the best comment of the night. Better to be addicted to a hook than a needle. I think that is so awesome. And on that note, of course, you went from being tied to a tree at 3 years old, catching perch, to tournament savvy and extremely knowledgeable angler. Did you ever think that you would then be representing companies? And I'm sure there's a bunch of companies that you want to thank for supporting you over the years.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go back to how that actually happened. Like, it's just right time, right place kind of thing. I was with Fishbum. I think everybody in Ontario knows who Fishbum is. NPS, like they started this world of kind of get your discount, right? So I joined with Fishbum. They weren't far away from me by any means, and kind of got to know them. And Jen Fullard, she was my fish mom, like always a joke. Just a great team we had. And so I got on with them, and then Jen got a call from an outdoor agency looking for a freelance writer in the north. She gave them my name, and then I started writing. So I was doing freelance writing. So I was putting out 12 to 20 some articles a year, all for tourism groups, like Northeastern Ontario Tourism, Destination Ontario, like just covering everybody and anywhere. And just, if anybody on here is listening and looking how to get in the industry, just put yourself out there. just do what you can. Show up. Like I crawled the aisles at Ramaco's when I started, and people thought I worked there in the end because I was there so much. It's just kind of get to know people, get to know the industry, start talking. I was willing to write for free, and luckily I was getting a check to do it. So just sharing my knowledge, my freelance writing, that opened so many doors to me. Was just sharing my knowledge as much as I can and just helping encourage and grow the fishing community in any way that I could. So all of that stuff kind of worked out. I would work the Sportsman show with them, just kind of pushing t-shirts, working Sudbury shows. And then kind of my name started getting noticed. And kind of the reputation worked out. And then I kind of met people here and there and asked people in the background, how do I navigate approaching different companies? So put together a professional resume and threw it over to Pure Fishing. And I think I've been over there 10 years now. So it's one of the top kind of conglomerate brand agencies within fishing. For those that don't know, it's Abu Garcia, Berkeley, Fenwick, Pfluger, Power Bait, you name it. Like we've got it, everything covered in the sun, Savage Gear. We got musky anglers, bass, walleye, catfish, everything's covered underneath this line. And it's kind of just keep exposure, work for them, do your best to represent the brand in the best way you can, be professional, get uncomfortable. Hey, Matt, nobody's on a tank this hour. Do you want to go on a tank at the seminar? It's like, oh man, that's kind of nerve wracking, but yeah, I'm in. So just take those opportunities and just get out there. So that kind of worked out. And the person that was at Pure Fishing at the time, he saw my resume. He liked it. He kind of moved on in his career and kind of gives me a call up. He says, hey, Matt, looking for a boat ambassador. You interested? So at the time, just had my kids. I was running a TR21 bass boat. I was going 68 miles an hour. Life was good. He reached out. I was like, yeah, it's time for a change. So absolutely honored to be representing Smokercraft Boats now. So it's just, I didn't actively pursue and go kind of over the hills and just like pounding on doors and repetitively hounding people. It was kind of just organic and just be you, but get out there, get exposed, and just be a part of the industry, be a part of the community, and things will happen.
Into that.
So yeah, that's kind of how it worked out for me. And then they'll bend over backwards to help you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So
great advice. Speaking of Fish Bum, did you ever attend one of the ambassador parties?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My liver still hurts.
That's about all we're going to say about that.
Yep. Yeah.
I went to one and I vowed I'd never go again because I'm gonna have to maybe go to rehab and dry out. It was pretty epic. You talk about professionalism and what have you, but there is that underlying need to have fun. You got to enjoy what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not to the extent of the ambassador retreats that we had, but needless to say, you got to continue to have fun. But I love what you said about just getting yourself out there, because really at the end of the day, people who maybe know me or don't know me, they always ask, what's the the secret to your recipe? Like how did you do this? Exactly what you just described. Just make yourself available, get yourself out there, and get noticed. And one other thing too that I think is really important, because social media it's taken away a little bit of that, is being able to promote other people. Like, you talk about your kids, you talk about the companies and all the bass series and clubs that you've had the pleasure of being a part of. We can't forget that as well, is acknowledging those who have been that helping force that has propelled you to where you are. And with everything being said, I have to ask, what's up for Matt in the future?
Oh, I've got a heck of a week that's going on right now. Got my brand new Smokercraft boat in this last week. They pushed that through the production line in 1 month, which is crazy for me. But I'm going to represent them at a national stage. Lucky enough to be on Team Ontario this year. Up on Lake Temiskaming last year, I made Team Ontario through the Ontario Bass Nation provincial qualifier. So yeah, Friday I load up and I'm heading to the Mississippi River to go to BASS Nationals.
Wow.
So yeah, it's biggest tournament of my life. I've gone to regionals down at the Potomac. kind of overwhelmed. That analysis paralysis thing I told you guys about, I did way too much research, kind of crippled myself. So going in open-minded, kind of forced to. I've been rigging a boat every night until like 1 a.m. this week. So yeah, I'm putting all my Humminbird units and everything on the boat right now. And the Smoker Craft Contour series is phenomenal. Brand new release. It's fully painted exterior of the boat. Like, it's absolutely a head turner. So I'm super excited to get down there, kind of get myself in a good place for promotion. Last time I was down there, I was on one of the cover shots for Bass Times, or not on the magazine, but on their website on Bassmaster with the Smoker Craft aluminum. So yeah, it's exciting. Just go down there, represent the country, as crazy as that sounds.
That's
yeah, represent everybody who backs me, my family, my friends, people within the fishing community. I'm just excited to go down, wear that Canada flag with pride, and yeah, just do our best. So, but yeah, end of the day, I'm just gonna go down and have fun, enjoy the experience. If I get top 3, heck yeah, I'm going to the Classic. But I'm against 200 really good anglers, so I'm gonna work hard. I've got the positive energy going on. I'm kind of willing it into existence, but yeah, I won't hang my head down if I don't come out with the top 3. So just excited to go.
Well said.
You don't have to beat the anglers. You just got to beat the fish.
Exactly. So it's a crazy system.
Yeah, I've unfortunately I've not made it down to the Mississippi yet. I don't know what pool you're going to be fishing. When
7, 8, and 9. It's insane.
So you're down at the bottom more than anything. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we wish you the best of luck, and if you ever want a real challenge, we'd love to have you on the Walleye World for sure. So
I don't know if you do.
Well, at least we don't have to work on his confidence, Dan. I think he's got the confidence part dialed in nicely. As always, this hour just flies by. Dan, did you have any last words that you wanted to say before we go?
Not much. I mean, I can attest to a lot of what Matt had to say, and I loved having him on. I wish him the best of luck, and you know, he hit the nail on the head when we're talking about sponsorships. Even to this day, we can all agree to the same thing, especially in Canada. It's a lot of it's done on our own dime, and it's just about getting noticed. You know, people may know my name now, but they didn't know my name 10 years ago. So you got to take the time and get out there and do it, and promote the brands and work with people. And you meet people like Matt, you meet people like Scottie, and next, one thing leads to another, and it helps you move up. So, he said it very well, and wish him good luck next week. And I'm a little jealous because I'm going to be probably sitting up at Gaver Lake with Nick Huxton hunting and freezing my ass off. So.
Sorry to hear that.
That's awesome. Matt, thanks so much for taking some time. I know you still got the boat to get ready and what have you, not to mention you got some kids and a wife running around, so you got family duties. But we will be pulling for you. In fact, I'm going to make sure that I troll your Facebook page to see any updates and where you might be on a leaderboard. But yeah, on behalf of all of us here, CFN and the POW'er Hour, thanks so much for joining us and taking the time tonight. Yeah, my absolute pleasure. So yeah, it's just great to talk to everybody and just share anything I can with the angling community. So yeah, I guess with that, go Jays go, right? So Amen.
So we're looking good. They're pulling it out. So yeah, hopefully we can see 2 Canadians do well. So the team and then us down to Nationals. So well said, buddy.
We'll get you back in a couple weeks to brag about how you did.
Amen. Exactly.
Hey, fingers crossed, but love to be back anytime, guys. So yeah, like I said, it's a privilege, and yeah, appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it. Dan, we'll see you next week, my friend.
Absolutely.
Peace.